Christianity, politics, same-sex marriage, abortion. If you own a successful business, I own a pretty successful business here in Chesapeake, Virginia, and I can find that the better I do, people want to know your opinion. I think with wrong motives oftentimes. What do you think about same-sex marriage? You have a successful business and you're a Christian. What are your views on same-sex marriage? What are your views on abortion? And we want to politicize everything, and it's a really underhanded thing that a lot of people do to attack Christians financially. You kind of saw this with Duck Dynasty, remember? He's in an interview and he's asked what are his views on same-sex marriage. And he just really gave the biblical view of it as far as I could tell. And I think every Christian should be okay and feel safe to do that, but he got slaughtered for that. We see Chick-fil-A has a view on same-sex marriage for their Christian view, and they're attempting, at least people are attempting to slaughter them, and they're pulling their franchises out of restaurants and so forth, things like that. All that's not where I'm going with that. Is, what are we supposed to do with this? I just want to maybe offer some possible feedback, solutions, how we should respond to it. I really believe that if we're gaining, and sometimes we think, we're like the Lone Ranger. God needs us to stop sin, and we got to scream to the top of the roof, you stop with your abortions. By the way, I am 100% anti-abortion. I believe in the sanctity of life. But at the same time, I want to say this. I don't have anything against the women who, for whatever reason, don't view abortion the way I do. They don't see it as life. They don't see it the way that I do. And my motive and my goal as a Christian is not to beat them down. My motive is that they would find Christ. And I think a lot of times we think Christianity is about less sin. We think Christianity is about being the Lone Ranger, help God battle sin. First of all, I want to be very clear. If someone is an unbeliever, you're not going to stop them from sin. You're not going to lead them to Christ by beating them up over their behavior. See, we think stop them from sin will lead them to Christ. It doesn't work that way. The answer in Christianity is lead them to Christ. Don't even get into their sin. It's really not about them. Sure, I think when I say their sin, not their specific sin, we don't need to dive that deep into it. We're simply pointing, what is Christianity mean? Let me just say this. Christianity is not about you needing to behave better. The problem already exists. We are born spiritually dead in Adam. And what you won't find in the Bible is, so therefore the solution is behave better. Therefore the solution is sin less. No, that's not what we're finding in the Bible. What we're finding is you are spiritually dead in Adam. Therefore you need to be born again. You need life. A life that is only found in Jesus Christ. So what am I saying? I'm saying Christianity is about a rescue plan. So when somebody says to me, what do you think about same-sex marriage? I might say, well, if you really want to know what I think, I agree with God. And rather than hear it from me, may I encourage you to just go read the Bible and get it for yourself. Because maybe I'll get it wrong. Sure, you're going to find, sir, ma'am, Christians have all kinds of varying opinions. We get even Scripture wrong. We get our own faith messed up sometimes. So go to the Bible and read it for yourself. Ultimately, I'm trying to say I think your motives may be bad and you're trying to trap me and hopefully you can hurt me financially somehow by getting me to just share my faith. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think. And I might add, I might even say to that person, let me be very clear. I'm not running around trying to oppress homosexuals or people committing abortions. I don't want to see them financially hurt. I don't want to see them mentally hurt. I don't want to see them harmed in any way. But I might say, I wonder if you do. You're using them as victims and you're using them as pawns and trying to pit everybody against each other. And I would submit to you that the Christian absolutely loves them. Now, it may not look that way with some of us Christians because we're spending way too much time screaming at them and yelling at them and telling them, you're going to hell. Christianity is about a rescue plan. The best thing you can do is point someone to Jesus Christ, to point them to the truth. I might say again to that person who's interviewing my opinion about same-sex marriage, I might say, at the end of the day, how much does it really, really matter what I think? I want to see those people saved, and this will be my answer to you. Christianity is not about attacking guys sleeping with guys. It's not about attacking women having abortions. Christianity is an acknowledgement that, and I'll start with myself, I have many, many sins, and I refuse to put mine in a little bucket over here. Hey, these are tiny sins, and I'm not so bad, and I'm going to take the gays and the abortions and put them in a big bucket over here and highlight them and put them on a pedestal. No, I'm going to say we all have a sin problem. Every sin is worthy of death, according to God. These are not my words. I just believe the Bible's true. Don't pin me down for that. I believe that they're true. And Christianity is about saying, hey, maybe your sin is you gossip. Maybe someone else's sin is they have a drinking problem. Maybe somebody else's sin is they look with lust. We could go on and on and on about everyone else's sin. And I'd say, sir, ma'am, I'm not interested in having a discussion with you about gay people, about people that have had abortions. Gay people, there's something in their history that leads them that way. I firmly believe that. There people who have abortion, they have a different view for whatever reason. And I understand that. Now, I have my views, but I also don't feel that my goal is to hurt them, to literally attack them and belittle them. And I certainly won't lead them to Christ that way. Doesn't mean we can't have a voice. Doesn't mean we shouldn't, gently and at the right time speak up. But what if we made clear that our biggest point more than anything else was to say, hey, wait a minute. I think their sin is worse than mine. All sin, you can call it what you want. All sin is punishable by death. And we all have the same problem. We're spiritually dead in Adam. And every one of us need the same solution. We need Jesus. So you can look that person in the eye next time and say, look, if you think I think I'm better than homosexuals, if you think I think I'm better than people who have had abortions, you're wrong. I don't think I'm better than them. I think I have the exact same problem. The only difference in me and them, to be very honest with you, if they're not a believer, is I've been rescued from that. Doesn't mean I'm a great person today. I have plenty of struggles even today, post-salvation. Yes, I have a new heart. I have new desires, but I have not stopped struggling. I am continually renewing my mind, transforming my mind into recognizing my new identity. But for whatever it's worth, folks, if Christianity to you is about beating people down over their sin and being the lone ranger as you scream how disgusting they are, you are not winning people to Christ. You're not helping. Their problem is they are spiritually dead. If you think you can save a spiritually dead person by telling them how awful they are, you have missed it. You've really missed it. The way we get to them is we say, hey, I'm there, you're there. We all need Jesus. I'm not here to judge you. I don't know why you struggle with whatever you struggle with, and it doesn't really matter what your struggle is. Maybe it looks like drinking. Maybe it looks like pornography. Maybe it looks like gossip, lying, cheating, stealing, looking with lust. We could go on and on and on. But once we have the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, we hear and believe, that's when the people start to change. So if your real motive is to see people saved and changed, let's start by expressing the love of Christ, right? Express the love of Christ and then let God do the work of leading them away from sin. That's my thought. Hope it helped. God bless you guys.